Alright, so hey everyone, today I want to take a look at the Deadzones for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is being demonstrated on the Xbox Series X, in case it differs on other platforms. But to start with the movement, we have a 37% radial Deadzone, and this game has full diagonal movement, so just passing over this horizontal axis, you can see that the stick changes are being reflected in character movement, and right around the vertical axis too. If we trace the Deadzone, we can see that there is no gaps in diagonal movement. There are 3 movement speeds in this game. First is walking, and so from the Deadzone up until this full shaded region, you'll walk. Once you enter this fully shaded region, you'll start your jog, run, and after you've begun a run, you have to move under this striped threshold to stop. So it widens the range once you begin a run. And for your sprint threshold, this can be triggered at any stick movement. So you can see that within the Deadzone, if you just hold the dodge button, you just do a normal dodge. But if you're anywhere outside of the Deadzone, you begin a sprint. For the camera, we also have a 30% radial Deadzone. And with the full diagonal movement as well, so just bobbing around the vertical axis, see that that's reflected in the camera movement. And if we cap the view down like this makes it very obvious. When passing over the horizontal axis, you can see the direction switch. So full diagonal movement there. For the curve, we can see that this is a linear curve, and I'm specifically playing on maximum sensitivity right now because you'll see that this linear curve moves into an acceleration jump, and to its max turn speed. This the intensity of this acceleration jump increases very slightly at lower sensitivities. I'm not going to demonstrate those just because the jump isn't that obvious, but I'll show the comparison on screen. So that just very slightly changes with the sensitivity you play at. The sensitivity overall is the same or the vertical sensitivity is the same as the horizontal, with the exception of the acceleration jump. So if you say moved to 60% horizontally, you'd be moving the same 60% vertically. One interesting aspect for this acceleration jump is this sort of levels out your view. So if, for example, we move the stick diagonally, you can see that it moves diagonally until it caps vertically. But when we hit the acceleration jump, it flattens out a bit, and we'll be able to see this more so. You can see that we're pointing slightly diagonally, mostly horizontally, but this is keeping the view capped vertically. But if we move into the acceleration region, you can see that the view levels out, and if we release, it slowly moves back up to the top. So while you're accelerating, it seems like this functions as a spring. So where your stick elevation becomes where your camera elevation stays locked to. This is sort of an interesting implementation. Maybe it's a way to, there's already sort of an automatic camera leveling when you're moving around. So, but maybe this is a way to keep players from accidentally, or maybe newer players keep their camera semi-leveled when making large stick movements. This does not occur, neither does the acceleration jump when using the Nightjar Monocular. So for this, this just has a perfectly linear curve for the entirety of the range. And this has no real connection with the general sensitivity. So this has its own sensitivity range, but it's very tight. The Nightjar Monocular at maximum sensitivity, which is right here, turns at about 30 degrees per second. And at minimum sensitivity turns at 20 degrees per second. So very slow and not much change between the minimum and maximum sensitivities, even though it's a decent relative change. It's all quite slow. And now when zooming fully with the Nightjar Monocular, this slows down the sensitivity. So this is about 40% your base zoom. So this is your base zoom, and this is the maximum Nightjar Monocular zoom, and this is about 40% of that base zoom. But that about covers it. So this is pretty identical to Dark Souls 1. The main difference is that this pullback threshold after beginning a run is a little wider, but otherwise the thresholds and general setup are very, very close. In general, the dead zones are quite large, but you don't need a whole lot of precision. It's easy to access a walk if you want to, and for camera movements you never really need any precision. What is most important is the full diagonal movement, and it's pretty nice to have your character move in the direction you point the stick. So that's nice that that's applicable here, and that's the case with the camera as well, with the exception of the acceleration jump flattening out your view relative to the vertical distance. But that about covers things. So thanks for watching, and everyone, have a great rest of your day.
I refuse the loading passage.
You can't refuse the
Loading passage.
I do, but you can't. But I did. But you need to
Parry.
No, I don't. I just said you did.
So what?